Hey friends, so a lot has happened this past week job-wise for me, and I wanted to use this week's video to take the time to talk about job hunting and other things that I continue learning while applying for jobs here in the city. So let's dive on in.
This is the journey of the soul, it's the adventure of me. No matter what I'm told, I know that I am free to roam my own way, to float in my own sea, to chase my own dreams on this adventure of me.
So I accepted a job on Thursday, and then I was so excited to get started. I started my training Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the restaurant itself was closed on Mondays. But the place is such a cool vibe, the people were awesome, everything was great, but I was quickly learning that I said yes to a job where the hours just didn't align with my lifestyle. I am a person that would much rather get up at 4:30 in the morning than go to bed at 4:30 in the morning, and that's what was happening with this position. Is it was later hours, 13-hour days, and I wasn't getting home and going to bed until 4:30 in the morning. So I had a bit of confliction in trying to figure out what I wanted to do and how to go about it. And then fortunately, the woman who I was supposed to replace decided that she wanted to stay with the company, and so they actually ended up calling me on Monday, on the day that they were closed, and telling me that they no longer had a position for me. Now, I say fortunately because yes, I am out of a job now again. However, I can now take this time to reflect on what I truly want in a work environment and how to get there. And so I just want to talk a bit about that. Obviously, there are all the websites, LinkedIn and Indeed and all of those that you can go through, and those are amazing channels. So, I highly suggest doing it. But the biggest thing is the connections and the network. This job that I had landed, I didn't even apply for. They called me out of the blue because I had two separate connections that they didn't even know each other, but they both had talked to this company about me. And that's how I got the call. They called me out of the blue and they're like, hey, we've heard about you. Can you come in for an interview? And so I just want to talk about how important connections and networking is, especially in a brand new city when you don't know everyone, but you need to go out, and whether it's going to job fairs or connecting with people on LinkedIn or going to a happy hour and just seeing who's around. You never know who you're talking to. So those connections are so important, and once you make them, you need to nurture them and continue letting them grow. So like I said, yes, it's unfortunate that I am out of work now, but it's also fortunate because now I can take the time to really focus on what I want out of a job and make sure I'm saying yes to the correct thing. So I'm talking about the small details of, is the city listed in the job listing? Do they tell you up front how much you're gonna be making? Do they talk about the benefits? And obviously, yes, those are all common sense things we should look at, but when you're applying to, 100 jobs a week, it's easy to kind of skim the details, but you really have to focus on those details. I applied to a few positions for jobs where it just said New York, and I ended up talking to them and getting interviews to find out that they're not actually looking for here in New York. They just said that, and they wanted to relocate me to another state, and clearly that's not gonna work out for me in my life right now, so I turned it down, but it was just a waste of my time and a waste of their time. And then, like I said, making sure that the hours are what you want, that the schedule is what you want, the money is what you want, the benefits are what you want. Paying attention to all of those are really going to help save you time and them so that you're getting exactly what you want out of this job that you're applying for. Job hunting itself is a full-time job, and it can get stressful and it can be a lot, and yes, it's a lot of work. Obviously, it's something we have to do, but you also need to make sure that you are taking the time for yourself and you're not getting burnt out, because then you're going to give up. And so making sure that you carve out an hour to, whether you're going for a run, or for me, I'll go and take dance class, but just finding a hobby or going and exercising, doing something that stimulates you so that you can get back to job hunting and feel good about it and not dread it and not hate doing it, because obviously we have to get it done. The main thing I'd say to take away from all of this, besides paying attention to your mental health and making sure that you're reading the details, is focusing on what you can control, whether that's rebuilding your resume or making your profile on LinkedIn the best it can be, nurturing those network connections. Whatever it is that you can focus on and you can change, do that. and then everything else will fall into place. You don't need to stress about the details you can't control. So focus on what you can, and the rest will just happen when it's supposed to happen. So that's all I really have for this week. I'm gonna continue spending the week job hunting and doing what I can to make it a fun and successful process. But hopefully I have some more news for you guys next week, but enjoy the rest of your week and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
This is the journey